Hey, audience, what you doing here? This is your place. Don't be wandering around my house without my permission. Welcome to my quib. I know what you're thinking. Whoa, it looks so marvelous. It totally does. It totally does. I agree with you, audience. Right. What are we gonna talk about today? There you go. That's much better. I'm just gonna fix your face if you know what I mean. There you go. All right. So let's get to it. Anyway, what's happening? Okay. Sorry about technical difficulties. This guy, when the hell is he gonna get to the point? Yeah, I'm one of those guys. Hey, so check this out. Today I want to talk about how words are numbers and how very often we talk about same thing but use different words. So then we have arguments about nothing just because we assign the meaning to the words that are different. That's pretty crazy. Check this out. Yeah, stop checking out my biceps, okay? Let's focus. So, imagine that words are numbers. And then we use many words to describe 0. We use many words to describe 1. We use many words to describe 3, 4, etc., etc. Example, 0 would be love, innocence, infinity, awareness. You know? What else you can say about 0? Quantum, state, source. Not a sauce, not like an applesauce, but source. Anyway, so there's many words that we could use to describe this state, because we're talking about the absolute 0 state, which is what everybody is talking about, which is the most simple thing ever. And it's always here when you stop talking. For example, not just stop talking with your mouth, but just start talking with your mind too. And it's here. That's silence. That's 0. Another word, silence, stillness. That's all to describe 0. Whoo-wee, right? So when we talk about, for example, love, like what do we mean? Now there is, of course, this love, this absolute 0, absolute stillness, which is, you can call it compassion, another word for it. But when we say love, sometimes we don't really mean that, do we? Sometimes we say we love ice cream, so what does that mean? Does that mean we have compassion for ice cream? Probably not. It means that we enjoy ice cream. It means that we're experiencing certain type of enjoyment. And we use the word love for it. So you see how it can derail very quickly. So I think it pays to understand when we're talking to other people, is like what kind of connotations they put on the meaning. And that's why everything in reality is simple, but the language complicates it. Because numbers, of course you heard, numbers don't lie. But the language does. Numbers cannot lie. It's impossible for the numbers to lie. But the language can. That's why geometry don't lie. Language can. Geometry is essentially a portrayal of numbers in visual sense. That's what geometry is. Everybody's talking about sacred geometry. Sacred geometry, that's the meaning of it, is that it's truth. It's universal. So, if the language lies, another word for that, for example, energy doesn't lie. Energy, vibration. Vibration is geometry, so that's why it doesn't lie. Energy doesn't lie. The words can lie. That's why sometimes somebody can say something to you, and then you feel something different. You know, like, okay, the words are here, but the feeling is different. So, you know, somebody's lying. So, why am I saying all this? Man, sometimes, like, when we talk to people, when I talk to people, now I've noticed that, oh, we have like same word, for example, for different meanings, like the word love, but you can't use the same word love for so many meanings, because there could be like a romantic love, right? Which is like full of drama and all that stuff, right? It's not the same as divine love, which is there is no drama, it's just pure truth and love. And then there's, of course, this universal love that I'm talking about, the zero, that source, whatever you want to call it, it's there. So you see, like, we can't use the same word for all this and not to have miscommunication. And sometimes we use multiple words for the same meaning, and then we argue, no, it's not this, it's that. No, it's not this, it's that. But you just have same words for the same meaning, different words for the same meaning, and you argue about the words. So I think in any kind of discussion, any kind of argument, the first order of business is to figure out what you mean by it, you know? But we don't really do that. For example, humanity, you know? When I talk about empathy, and I'm saying that empathy is not a intrinsically neither beneficial nor bad concept, that empathy is an attachment. And then when I talk about having empathy for states rather than individual, people say, well, isn't that, when few friends of listen to me and says, hey, isn't that like losing your humanity? I said, what do you mean by humanity? That's very important, because if you mean like all this mess that is happening in dysfunctional people dealing with challenges in a dysfunctional manner, I'm not utopian and thinking that like we can live in the world with no challenges, everything's perfect. No, I'm thinking that we can live in the world where we deal with the challenges in a mature way, in a fun way, man. You know what I'm saying? Not in a dysfunctional way. The mature way is the fun way. It's so I say, okay, what do you mean by humanity? Because to me it's much more humane not to be triggered by stuff, you know? I think I can be way better human being if I'm not constantly triggered by shit. You know what I'm saying? And the very reason I'm getting triggered, look, like, it's even if you have like this type of empathy, you can get triggered in a positive way and you can get triggered in a negative way. Somebody says something and just like boost up your ego, pride, you know? And somebody says something negative, now it destroys your bubble. So like, are you gonna keep on playing this game? Because the external factors don't really determine of who I am. So all of this is just drops off like a noise, and then So anyway, I don't want to get into this subject because I'm talking about how language is actually numbers, and when language starts lying is when it's pretending to take a different meaning. That's why, to me, this concept of compassion is gaining humanity, not losing the humanity. I think that what is going on, and we call it humanity, I think it's more like animalistic. I think that's how chimps deal with situations. So you see, but we call it, oh, you're going to lose your humanity. No, I think I'm going to gain the humanity in that sense. You know what I'm saying? And here we are, acting like a chimp. Climbing. Anyway. So, yeah. I don't know. I think I'm not gonna expand it too much, but I just want to say that language is tricky. Language is tricky. And that's why there's so many arguments, so many miscommunications where you may agree fundamentally, you may agree on it, but because you use different words, you'd never see that you do already agree on it. So that's pretty important, I would say, is to really figure out what each other mean by the words that we use. Yeah, that's enough for today, okay? Yeah. I hope you liked my crib. And I'll see you in the next one. Don't be too sad without me.